My name is Rolf Steinort, and I'm recording this in Bremen, northern Germany. I want to do a video podcast about the GIMP. The GIMP is a very powerful image manipulation program. It is free, as in speech and in beer. It is open source, and it runs on Linux, Windows, and macOS. It can do nearly all the stuff you can do with Photoshop, and more than a lot of other programs, including Photoshop Elements. The GIMP is made by a lot of people who give their time and skills into this project and have provided me with the means to post-process my photographs on a Linux computer. Now I want to give something back. I'm only a bad coder and would do more harm than good if I tried to contribute on that way. But I'm a teacher by profession, and I can teach about using the GIMP. First I thought about writing tutorials, but John Arnold's photo walkthrough inspired me to try to do this by a screencast video. In this first video, I want to give you a small tour around the GIMP and just go through my normal routine to prepare an image for the web. I'll explain not much about the why. That will come later. I open the image by just pulling it over to the toolbox, and here it is. And now let's have a look. I shot this at the marketplace in Bremen. You saw some images from that during the intro. And there are always tourists shooting our town hall here. And I caught this funny moment where 3 people shooting the town hall with their point-and-shoots in front of their faces. I want to make this image ready for the web. Let's see what there is to do. First, the image is tilted. I have to rotate it a bit. Then I have to crop it. This is the back of the person here is distracting. The third thing is I have to bring a bit of pop into the colors and into contrast. Then I have to resize the image because now it's nearly 4,000 pixels wide. That's far too much. And then I have to sharpen it and save it as a JPEG. Let's start with rotating. I zoom into the part of the image where it's most obvious that the image is tilted. You see it here. Oh, by the way, you can move around in the image by pressing space and just moving the mouse. And now I choose the rotate tool. In the rotate tool there are some options set by default to values for graphical work and not for photographic work. And I set here corrective, not normal forward but corrective. I check if I have the best interpolation. There is, we have that. And I choose in the preview the grid instead of the image. I put up a bit the number of grid lines. You see it soon. And now I just click into the image and get a grid overlaid over the image. This grid is straight. And I can rotate it. And the GIMP will rotate the image that way, here in the corrective mode, that the grid is again straight. Let's see here. I think this is good. I can just move around a bit here. Check this. Looks good for me. Just click on rotate. Wait a moment. The program to shift around 10 megapixels. And then it is rotated. Let's have a look at the whole picture. Shift, Control and E brings us back to the image, and here it is. Next step, cropping. I choose the crop tool, and I want to keep the aspect ratio of this image 3:2. And so I choose here fixed aspect ratio and type in 3:2 just clicking somewhere, and now I can start cropping. I want to include the feet of this person here. I want to exclude this part of the image. And so I start here at this point, just pressing the left mouse button and pulling it over. And you see the aspect ratio is constant. And now I have to decide how far to pull. And I think this is quite good. Let's check the borders. We have excluded this. That is good. Here's a person sitting. I think there is enough room here for the person to be in the picture. Doesn't look nice if they sit, if there's no room left, I think. There are windows here on top, and there's enough of them in the image to see them as windows. But I think there's not enough room around here at the feet. I just click into the image, hold the mouse and pull it a bit down. I think this is good here. And now, not enough windows here, and the person is sitting too far at the border. Just make the image a bit larger. So we're running here into a problem. Perhaps you can see it. There is a part of the image by rotation which is transparent now. I don't want to include that. Okay, let's go back. Again, select the crop tool. Wanted a bit more room here. Pulling it up. Not so far. I think this is quite good. Just click into the image, and here we have the cropped and rotated image. Shift, Control and E brings us again into the full view. Next step, boosting the colors and contrast a bit. There are several ways here. I could use the color levels. Here's levels. I could use the curves. I could use here some sliders. But I'll try a thing with layers. I simply double this layer here and change the layer mode to overlay. And you see it's a very strong effect. I don't want to have it that much. Now I slide the opacity slider down to a value where I think it's looking good. Bit more perhaps. I think this is good here. I can always change that unless I click here, right mouse click into the channel list and say flatten image or merge visible image, visible layers. Then all the changes are lost. Except I go into here and go back in the undo history. But we'll cover that later. Okay, next step, resizing. I go into the image menu and check here, select here, scale the image. And here I can just type in 800 pixels. And I get the other value here for the height. When I unchain this link here, I could distort the image by resizing it. Interpolation, I think we'll go for cubic. I found that the highest layer here, Sync, gives some artifacts with brick buildings. very funny thing. I have to check that out. And just click onto Scale, and we'll look at the result. Shift-Control-E gets us the whole image, and 1, when I press 1, I get 100% zoom. And here now we can look around in the image to see if we have somewhere something really disturbing, distracting stuff like jaggies or so, but I think it worked out well. Next step is sharpening. My lens is quite good and my camera too, but we have now manipulated the image that much that it has to be sharpened again a bit. And I select here Filters and Enhance, and here I could use the Unsharp Mask, a very powerful sharpening tool, but for this image, Sharpen is enough. It's a tool with basically only one option, here the slider, and we can it is enough for such an image. We don't have to control all the stuff you can do with Unsharp Mask here. This is the unsharpened image, and when I pull this slider up, the image gets sharpened and more and more and more, and you get very funny effects if you pull it too far up. And I think for this one here, I think this is good. The hair comes out here a bit, and you even see here some jaggies. It's too much. This is better. I like to go more to the soft effect than to have some jaggies in the image. They show that you have tinkered with the image. So let's look at the result. Looks quite good. And now the last step, saving this stuff. I go to File, Save As, and just exchange the TIFF, original TIFF extension with JPG. Click on Save. I get a warning that the JPEG can't handle images with multiple layers. Okay, we export them, and I think the 85% will be is a good standard value for this image also. And now I have saved this image as a JPEG image here. We can look at it at full screen. Here it is. That was it, the first edition of Meet the GIMP. In the next one I'll talk about stable and so-called unstable versions of GIMP. And then I'll tackle where to get and how to set up the GIMP. After that, there will be something more advanced, some layer magic perhaps, and raw converting and more. I'll go into some of the tools in detail, discuss some concepts like color or sharpening, and from time to time I'll take you along through a complete photo post-processing. In the long run, I think I'll settle to one show a week. As I'm on holiday now and the weather here is lousy, there may be more in the beginning. I would like to hear from you. Mail me at info@meetthegimp.org, leave a comment at meetthegimp.org, or come to the forum at tipsfromthetopfloor.com. The links are on the show notes at meetthegimp.org. Tell me what you liked, what I could have made better, what you want to hear in the future.